Let's talk about your food and what the New Zealand government and the mainstream media are not telling you. You see, the Gene Technology Bill isn't about passing one law, it's about a whole system of changes quietly working together in a regulatory type of lockstep. And if you haven't been paying attention, the Gene Tech Bill is proposing to completely deregulate genetically modified organisms into our farming systems, in medical applications, but more importantly, in your food. But what this will also do is give massive corporations more control over the food supply. They'll have no liability, no traceability, and also pass the cost of any GMO contamination onto you, the taxpayer. And at exactly the same time, New Zealand's Food Safety Authority is laying the groundwork for rewriting the labelling requirements for genetically modified organisms in your food products. Specifically, the proposal P1055 is updating how gene technology and new breeding techniques are defined under New Zealand food law. Essentially, what this is doing is it's redrawing the boundaries of what counts as genetically engineered food, so they don't need to label it anymore, even though it is genetically modified. So just to be clear here, the reason they're saying they don't need to label it anymore is because they're saying they're using modern gene editing methods, so they're not considering it as genetically modified. So they can bypass any labelling or pre-market safety checks. Not only is this dishonest, but it makes it harder for consumers to know what's in their food, and it takes away your right to choose. And New Zealand's own Food Safety and Biosecurity Minister, Andrew Hoggard, is the one in charge of how transparent your GMO labels are. Meanwhile, the Ministry for Primary Industries is calling to raise the acceptable limits of glyphosate by 100 times. And again, if you are paying attention, this lines up perfectly with making GMO herbicide-resistant crops easier to get in the soil in New Zealand. And on top of that, the RMA reforms are removing precautionary principles against genetically engineered organisms and stripping away those safeguards that protect ratepayers. That means communities have less say, less protection, and more risk offloaded onto the public. All of these changes work together. They reshape how our food is grown, who owns it, who controls it, and how honest your food labelling is. And if you care about all of those things, now is the time to speak up. The Gene Tech Bill will reach second reading on the 10th of October. It's imperative that your MPs hear from you and you let them know that you don't want this bill and you don't consent to this experiment. Because once that GMO genie is let out of the bottle by these guys, there is no going back for New Zealand.